Hi guys, welcome back to our channel Swipe to Learn. Today we'll be back with another new video in the DBMS series that is creating ER diagram. You have seen about what is ER diagram and what are the terminologies in ER diagram in the previous video. So in this video we'll see how to draw the ER diagram. Okay, as you all know, ER diagram it's visual representation of the data, how data is related to each other between the entities, attributes and setup. If you see here, visitor, developer, and website are the entities. And developer creates the website. This is called as the relationship, whereas visitor visits the website. These are the relationship between them. And if you have visitor name, mobile number, and its ID, then you can call these are attributes, right? So let's see about what are different ways to draw the ER. So entity is generally represented in a rectangular format. As you see in the previous slide, you have visitor in the square box, whereas visits the relationship in the diamond shape, right? So if the entity is weak, that means it's not strong entity, but you have to include. Then if you give in the double rectangles, and whereas attribute the characteristics are used in the oval shape, and if it is in the primary key attribute, then you will be underlying the attribute, and if it is the attribute is a kind of not so important, not a primary key attribute, but it's a key attribute, then you give in the dotted line. And the relationships are used in the rhombus shape, and if the value is multi-valued, then you give in the double oval. And if the relationship is an identifying relationship, then you give in the double, and derived attributes are given in the dotted oval line. So these are all different types of relationship. So if the relationship is dark line indicates it's mandate relationship, and the dotted line indicates it may have or may not have. Like this, these are all the representation. Whenever you possess an entity, if you start writing with entity, write draw a rectangle and write something, and you follow this relationship and write the attribute, and this followed by a relationship and with an another entity. This is how the general basic structure of an ER looks like. If you see here, this is a composite attribute. So an attribute consisting of different attributes is called as composite. This is how composite attribute is represented. If you say with student, name, ID, address, age, this is an entity, and these are attributes. So if address is a composite attribute, so from this address you can give like door number, lane number, and any landmark. Like that you can give specify in this between them. This is how composite attribute. And you know how relationship is used in rhombus shape. And here if you see age and student ID is given in underline, and this is student phone, it's a multi-valued attribute, so it's given in double oval. Student ID is unique primary key, so it's given in underline. So these are the representation of how to draw the ER diagram. Now, if you see with the relationship, as we see in the previous video, we have seen about the binary relationship, ternary relationship, and degree of the relationship. So this is the most common use cases of binary relationship. So, cardinality indicates like number of entities to which another entity is linked. So we have four types of cardinality in the binary relationship: one to one, one to many, many to one, many to many. We'll see about each kind of relationship in detail about this cardinality, right? If you see with one to one, like whatever entities in the set A and set B, each have one to one mapping. Like A1 is mapped to B1, A2 is B2, A3 B3. If A4 is not mapped to anything, that's also a fine. At least at most with one item. Like if only A1 matches with B1 and these are not relationships, even then we can say A is mapped to B one to one. Like a surgeon always headed by a HOD. Like surgeon will always, like, if for every one surgeon, one HOD will map. It may be HOD may be unique or may not be, but for each and every one, HOD will be there. So this is a one-to-one relationship example. Now let's move on to next relationship, that is one-to-many. In this cardinality, A1 can have independence between two of them in B set. Like A1 can be mapped to both B1 and B2, or can be also B3, any number. So this type of association between the set A and B is called as one to many. Like a surgeon department, say for example a cardiology surgeon department have n number of doctors. So how many doctors? If you have the specified number, and then cardinality would be n here. Whereas in the previous case, cardinality one to one relationship, cardinality will be one, and one to many, like this many, how many doctors are there in the particular department? Surgeon has how many doctors? Surgeon has n number of doctors. This is the cardinality in one to many relationship. If you move to many to one relationship, like A1, A2, A3 can be mapped to only one from the associated. Like A is connected to at most one entity in B. You can be any, but at most one entity. Whereas B can be associated with any number of entities in the item A. Suppose multiple surgeries can be done by a single surgeon. Like a surgeon can done multiple surgery. You can say it with reverse, like one to many or many to one. Same indicates. So this is how it goes. A single surgeon, right? If you see with the next one, many to many, like entity A is associated with any number of entities B. In the same way, any entity in B can be associated with any number of entities in the A. Like that may be a vice versa relationship. If you see with employees works on multiple projects, and multiple projects were worked by number of employees. So this is a many to many relationship. Like A1 can be mapped to B1, B2, B3, or only B1, B2 alone. Any number of mapping can be done in many to many relationship. So, and there is a different kind of relationship, that is the recursive relationship. Like employee managers, like entity is related with itself. Employee managers, and employees also will be managed. So, this is how the recursive relationships are denoted. And if you see with the ternary relationships, like the degree will be 3 here. Ternary relationship, as you all know, it involves three entities. And in this relationship, we always consist two entities as together. Like sector, product, and company will have two. It may sectors and products. It A company produces many products, and each product is only produced by one company, like they have one to one relationship, and a company operates in only one sector, but each sector have many companies operating in it, right? For example, if you say a product X, this product X is in company, and this Y companies belong to Z sector, right? And in the Z sector you have different multiple companies, right, which work in the sector. It may have any number, and this company Y also will produce many products, but we take the relationship correlation between these three. Okay, so this is how ternary relationship works. Congratulations on learning how to represent the ER diagram. Will be see from the scratch how to draw the ER diagram in the next coming video. Please do like, share, and subscribe and follow our channel Swipe to Learn. Thank you guys for watching.